안녕하세요. You're going to learn how to talk about more unrealistic situations using 만약, 으면, or 다면. And the pre-final ending, 엇, which is something added to the past tense indicator at, 엇, het in this video. Let's go. Let's go back to 만약, 으면, and 다면 again. It'll be a bit complicated and long page, but it'll be very interesting. Let's make extra sentences using 만약, 으면, and 다면. We'll make Korean sentences for these three English sentences. If I have 1 billion won, I will buy a house. If I had 1 billion won, I would buy a house. If I had 1 billion won, I would have bought a house. Before we do that, I'd like to point out two things. First, in Korean, when you make a conditional sentence, you don't really have to worry if there is a real possibility or not. Second, in Korean, it is more important to know which tense the sentence indicates. Okay? We are doing this not because it is important for you to translate the English sentence into Korean, but because it is important for you to exactly understand how Korean works by knowing the difference. Yes, there will be a small difference between Korean and English. Let's see the first sentence again. If I have 1 billion won, I will buy a house. Is this sentence talking about a real possibility or not in English? What do you think? I don't know how you would answer to this question, but the thing is, it doesn't really matter, at least in Korean. I'll tell you why very shortly. Let's see the Korean sentence together. 만약 제가 10억 원이 있으면 저는 집을 살 거예요. 만약, if, 제가, I, 10억 원이, 10 is 10, and 억 is 100 million. 10 multiply 100 million is a billion. 1 is a unit of the Korean currency. E is the particle. This particle E is used because the predicate 있다, which is used with the connective ending 으면, is an adjective when it means to have. 있으면, as I told you, this is the combination of the predicate 있다, which means to have, and the connective ending 으면, which actually turns the clause into conditional. it plus 으면, 있으면, 만약 제가 10억 원이 있으면, 저는, I, the auxiliary particle 는 here can provide a nuance of comparing. I don't know what others would do, but as for me, 저는 집을, a house, 살 거예요, will buy. We used 을 거예요. This compound expression or assistant predicate, whatever you call it, anyway, this 을 거예요 can be used to indicate the future tense. But it can also be used to indicate your mild intention, right? So let's take a look at the entire sentence again. 만약 제가 10억 원이 있으면 저는 집을 살 거예요. If I have 1 billion won, I will buy a house. As you know, the connective ending 으면 can be used to make a simple conditional sentence, or it can also be used to put the predicate in the subjunctive mood, which tells us that there is no real possibility. Then you might think it's a bit confusing because this connective ending can be used for either conditional or conditional in the subjunctive mood. But it's not that complicated because in Korean, you don't really have to think about it too much. You don't really have to know whether it's just conditional or conditional in the subjunctive mood. I'll tell you why. 만약, in case or if, 제가 10억 원이 있으면, do you have a 10억 원 now? The answer is no. You don't have it now. It doesn't matter if you use the present simple tense form have or the past tense form had for this sentence. The important thing is you don't have 10억 원 now. That is why you said 만약, and that is why you used 으면. Again, The important thing is the fact that you don't have 10억 원 now. It is not important if there is a real possibility or not. The existence of the real possibility will be determined by the context or speaker's intention, not by this sentence itself, okay? Let's see. 저는 집을 살 거예요 part again. 살 거예요. This 살 거예요 part does not tell if it's realistic or non-realistic either. It just shows that it's your mild intention or future. That's it. So in Korean, you can say that there's no clear difference between just conditional and conditional without a real possibility. In other words, subjunctive mood. This is quite important. Again, the important thing is the fact that you don't have that money. And that is why you said if, 만약, and 으면 in Korean. And next important thing you should know is 있으면 part just indicates the present tense. So it means if I have that money now. Okay? Because of the fact that there is no big difference between conditional with a real possibility and conditional without a real possibility, you can also use the connective ending 다면 for the same sentence. 만약 제가 10억 원이 있다면 저는 집을 살 거예요. Please see the 있다면 part. It is the combination of the stem it and the connective ending 다면. We told you that 다면 can be used for the conditional which has lower possibility. It's true, but anyway, you don't have 10억 원 now. Nothing is changed in the actual meaning. Therefore, they both sound almost the same. 만약 제가 10억 원이 있으면 저는 집을 살 거예요. 만약 제가 10억 원이 있다면 저는 집을 살 거예요. Okay, let's see the next sentence. If I had 1 billion won, I would buy a house. Now the English sentence is in the subjunctive mood. This English sentence can tell us two things. One is that the sentence is talking about something which doesn't have a real possibility. And the other thing is that the meaning is present, not past, even though had and would are used. Then let's remember these two things again and make the Korean sentence for this English sentence. First, the English sentence indicates the present tense. Therefore, the Korean sentence will indicate the present tense too. Second, in Korean, you don't really have to worry about the real possibility thing. It's just conditional. The important thing is you don't have that money now in the present moment. So, if 만약 제가 1 billion won, 10억 원이 had, again, this sentence indicates the present tense. Therefore, in Korean, you just use the present tense. And you can use the connective ending 다면 because we told you that it can indicate the lower possibility as the English sentence indicates there is no real possibility. But the thing is, it wouldn't matter even if you use the other connective ending 으면. It wouldn't affect the actual meaning that much. Because the important fact is that you don't have that money right now. So the stem it plus 다면 or 으면. 있다면 or 있으면. 만약 제가 10억 원이 있다면 or 만약 제가 10억 원이 있으면. So in English, there is a grammar that can tell us that this is a conditional, but there is no real possibility in this present moment. But in Korean, it doesn't work like that. If you want to indicate the present moment with a conditional, you use the present tense. Okay? Then let's see the second part. 저는 집을 살 것 같아요. We used 을 것 같아요 to sound more like would in English. That's it. It's not that you should use 을 것 같아요 since it's not the direct translation of the English modal would anyway. It just means you expect to do that. Therefore, you can also use other assistant predicates or compound expressions that won't ruin the actual meaning of the sentence you are willing to express. For example, you can even say that if I had 1 billion won, I want to buy a house in Korean. 만약 제가 10억 원이 있다면 저는 집을 사고 싶어요.
Or, if I had 1 billion won, I will buy a house. 만약 제가 10억 원이 있다면 저는 집을 살 거예요. No problem. So, we can know that in Korean, there's no big difference between the first English sentence, if I have a billion won, and the second sentence, if I had a billion won. That's the point. Please remember that. Then let's see the next Korean sentence. 만약 제가 10억 원이 있었다면 저는 집을 샀을 것 같아요. Something has changed. Let's take a closer look at the first part. 만약 제가 10억 원이 있었다면 What's changed? Yes, the past tense indicator 엇 is added. Therefore, it indicates the past. You shouldn't think it's the translation of the English sentence if I had a billion won. Because of the past tense form 있었. Okay? It just simply indicates the past tense. It indicates the fact that you didn't have that money in the past. Therefore, the meaning of 만약 제가 10억 원이 있었다면 is rather close to the third English sentence if I had had a billion won. Because 있었다면 indicates the past tense. And we use the connective ending 다면 because anyhow, it can indicate the lower possibility theoretically. But you can still use the other connective ending 으면 because 으면 can also indicate something subjunctive in Korean. No problem. We all know that it didn't happen in the past. You didn't have that money in the past. So it wouldn't affect the actual meaning that much, even though you use the connective ending 으면. Okay? Let's see the second part. 저는 집을 샀을 것 같아요. Let's take a close look at the 샀을 것 같아요 part. Obviously, 샀 is the combination of the stem 사 from the verb 사다 and the past tense indicator 앗. Then why 을 sound is added? Because in Korean, the tense is relative. As you know, the final 르 consonant or 을 sound is used to indicate the future tense, right? The past tense indicator is also used here. The past tense plus future tense indicates the future from the past before the present. Then let's take a look at this as one sentence together. 만약 제가 10억 원이 있었다면 in the past 저는 집을 샀을 것 같아요. At some future point from the past before the present, which is still the past. Do you get it? So, like I said earlier, this sentence can actually be the translation of the third English sentence. If I had had a billion won, I would have bought a house, which indicates the past tense. 만약 제가 10억 원이 있었다면 저는 집을 샀을 것 같아요. And we can know the speaker didn't buy the house because he or she didn't have that money in the past. It's clear enough, right? So you are now able to make conditional sentences in the present and the conditional sentences in the past in Korean. Okay, that's great. But unfortunately, there's one more thing you should learn in Korean. Let's take a look at the next sentence. 만약 제가 10억 원이 있었었다면 저는 집을 샀었을 것 같아요. 만약 제가 10억 원이 있었었다면 Let's see 있었었다면 part together. It can be a tongue twister for you. 있었었다면 We know the first 엇 is a past tense indicator. Then what is the second 엇? It's not the past tense indicator. It's a pre-final ending 엇. This 엇 sound is used right after the past tense indicator 앗, 엇, 했, and provides us with the additional information that something happened in the past does not continue anymore. But please think more carefully about the sentence one more time. 만약 제가 10억 원이 있었었다면 We can already know that you didn't have that money in the past because of the past tense indicator 엇. Then do we really need to add the extra meaning not anymore here? No, I don't think so. So in my opinion, the second ot sound, which is a pre-final ending, is not really required in this sentence. Because 만약 and 으면, 다면 already tells us that you didn't have that money in the past. But you can still use it because of the meaning it has, which is something happened in the past does not continue at the present moment anymore. It can emphasize that this was really past and provide a nuance that you recollect something happened in the past which cannot be true anymore. But you should know that the pre-final ending ot is different from the English past participle or past perfect. The pre-final ending ot is normally used to indicate something happened in the past is not happening anymore, or something which is different now compared to the past. Okay? Please don't mix up. Let's see the second part too. 저는 집을 샀었을 것 같아요. Let's see the 샀었을 것 같아요 part more closely. The pre-final ending ot is used here again. The same thing applies here too. The extra meaning not anymore with the pre-final ending ot is not actually required here. Because the meaning you might have bought the house in the past is enough. There's no use for the meaning not anymore with the pre-final ending ot. But it can still emphasize the fact that you would have done it in the past. Again, the pre-final ending ot is used in Korean normally to indicate that something happened in the past is not happening at the present moment anymore, or something which is different now compared to the past. Therefore, it doesn't really affect the actual tense of the sentence, but it can still emphasize the past tense. So you can say that it also emphasized that there was no real possibility. Please keep that in mind and let's learn more about this pre-final ending ot again very soon. So, 만약 제가 10억 원이 있었다면 저는 집을 샀을 것 같아요. And 만약 제가 10억 원이 있었었다면 저는 집을 샀었을 것 같아요. The actual meaning of these two sentences can be almost the same. Just the second sentence could sound like you're emphasizing the past tense a little bit more, like I would have done it in the past if it had happened to me in the past. But it didn't happen. So it could also emphasize the fact that this didn't happen in the past. Okay? Let's learn about the pre-final ending ot more specifically later again. Okay? Wow, this has been a long page. Let's summarize what we've learned on this page briefly. First of all, in Korean, you don't really need to think about the real possibility when you make a conditional sentence. The more important thing is the tense. Present tense means present tense. Past tense means past tense. Second of all, the combination of the past tense indicator at, ot, het, and the pre-final ending ot, which is at, ot, and het, ot, does not indicate the past participle nor past perfect. The pre-final ending ot is used to indicate that something happened in the past is not happening anymore. Okay, that's it. Let's learn about the pre-final ending ot more specifically. As I told you, this pre-final ending ot is used after the past tense indicator at, ot, het, and it adds the meaning the situation in the past does not continue in the present moment. So it can sound like it emphasized the past tense, like it happened only in the past and not anymore. This pre-final ending is always ot. So when you use it with the past tense indicator ot, it's ot, 어쌔. So it can be a bit confusing for you, but they are clearly different elements. Then let's compare the sentence with the just past tense and the past tense with the pre-final ending ot. Please see this Korean sentence. 전에 거기에 자주 갔어요. 전에. 전 means before. It's a noun in Korean. Therefore, you should add a particle 에. 전에. 거기에. 거기 means there. 거기 is a pronoun in Korean, so you can add a particle 에 again. 거기에. 자주 means often. 갔어요, went. It's in the past tense. 전에 거기에 자주 갔어요. What does that mean? Yes, it's just simply I went there often before. Then please take a look at the next sentence. 전에 거기에 자주 갔었어요. Let's see the 갔었어요 part together. As you know, it's the combination of the stem 가, which means to go, the past tense indicator at, and pre-final ending ot with the final ending 어요. Again, we added the pre-final ending ot to 갔어요, which is already in the past. 갔었어요. Then what's the difference? Please listen carefully. In Korean, the past tense indicator simply indicates that something happened in the past, or the situation or action was completed in the past and its state continues to the present moment. Let's not think about the its state continues to the present moment part for now. The first sentence, 전에 거기에 자주 갔어요, without the pre-final ending ot, simply indicates the past. You went there often. Or you would go there often. That's it. But the second sentence, 전에 거기에 자주 갔었어요, with the pre-final ending ot, provides us with more information. When we hear this pre-final ending ot sound, we can know the speaker's intention trying not to link the past event to the present. In other words, the speaker wants to imply that it only happened in the past, or it doesn't happen anymore. Again, this is important. We don't know for sure whether the speaker still goes there or not, because the speaker didn't say that out loud. But at least we can guess the speaker's intention from the pre-final ending ot. We can guess that the speaker is trying to say it happened only in the past. If you want to sound clearer to imply that you don't go there anymore, you can add the auxiliary particle 는 to 전에. 전에는 compared to the present. 전에는 거기에 자주 갔었어요. I would go there often before compared to the present. Okay? Let's see the next sentence. 회사에서 전화가 왔어요. 회사에서 전화가 왔어요. 회사에서 from the company. 전화가 a phone call. 왔어요 came. It means a phone call came from the company, or the company called you, or someone called you from the company, or you received a phone call from the company. Whatever the English sentence is, it's 회사에서 전화가 왔어요. From company, a phone call came in Korean. And let's see the next sentence with the pre-final ending ot right away. 회사에서 전화가 왔었어요. 회사에서 전화가 왔었어요. 왔었어요 is the combination of the stem 오, past tense indicator, at, and pre-final ending ot with the final ending 어요. What, 어요? 왔었어요. 왔었어요. What's the difference between these two sentences? The first sentence, 회사에서 전화가 왔어요, can of course mean just someone called you from the company. But it can also mean someone called you from the company and he or she is still holding it, still on the phone. Now you understand the second usage of the simple past tense in Korean that we explained above. The situation or action was completed in the past and its state continues to the present moment. As you know in Korean, you indicate the actual moment that something happened. So someone called you, it's already in the past. Even when someone has just called, you use the past tense for the fact that someone called you. And this someone is still holding the phone waiting for you to answer. So the state of calling the phone continues to the present moment. In this case, you can just simply use the past tense. 회사에서 전화가 왔어요. How about the second sentence? 회사에서 전화가 왔었어요. 회사에서 전화가 왔었어요. Because of the pre-final ending ot, it means someone called you from the company, but he or she hung up the phone already. The state of making a phone call does not continue to the present moment. Okay? Let's see the next sentence. 전에 좋아했었던 사람을 봤어요. 전에 좋아했었던 사람을 봤어요. 전에, before. 좋아했었던, liked. 사람을, a person. 봤어요, saw. What does that mean? Yes, I saw someone that I liked before. Do you remember the modifier ending 던? Hope you do, but don't worry, I'll explain about it again. Let's learn about the difference between 좋아했던 and 좋아했었던. 좋아했던 is of course 좋아했 with the past tense indicator plus 던. And 좋아했었던 is the combination of 좋아했, the pre-final ending 엇, and the modifier ending 던. 좋아했었던. Let's talk about the modifier ending 던 one more time. 던 is actually used to indicate that something happened in the past, stopped without completion. Again, the modifier ending 던 can indicate that something stopped in the past. And it can also indicate that something stopped in the past without completion. It can indicate something incomplete too. So sometimes it can sound a little bit unclear if you still like this person or not. Most of the cases, it's clear enough. But if you want to sound clearer that you don't like this person anymore, you can add a pre-final ending 엇. 좋아했었던. 좋아했었던. 좋아했었던 sounds more like you liked this person before but not anymore. Okay? Very good. Let's learn about the various conjugation with 으면 and 다면. It's a bit complicated, but not that complicated, so please don't worry. Let's take a look at the connective ending 으면 first. The basic rule is the same. When there is no final consonant in the formal block, you add only 면. When there is a final consonant in the formal block, you add 으면. Then let's see the exceptions only. 살다, which means to live. When the last letter of the stem has final 르 consonant, you just add 면 instead of 으면 in the present tense. It's an exception. Yes, present tense and any stem that has final 르 consonant in its last letter. So it's not 살으면, it's just 살면. 살면. Okay? That's it. There is no other exceptions for 으면. Just one thing. It's not an exception, but when the stem 이 from 이다 meets the past tense indicator 엇, they can be combined together, as you know. 이엇 becomes 엿. That's all. Then let's see the conjugations with the connective ending 다면. The basic rule is when there is no final consonant in the formal block, you add final 느 consonant to the stem and add 다면. When there is a final consonant in the formal block, you add 는다면. There are two exceptions here. First exception also happens to the stem which has final 르 consonant in its last letter, such as 살다. When the last letter of the stem has final 르 consonant, you get rid of the final 르 consonant and add final 느 consonant instead in the present tense. So it becomes 산다면, 산다면 instead of 살른다면. Okay? 산다면. The second exception happens to the predicate 이다 in the present tense. In the present tense, you add 라면 instead of 다면 to the stem 이. So it becomes 이라면. 이라면. Okay? And to the past tense, and the past tense with the pre-final ending 엇, you always add 다면 only. That's it. Then let me read through all the conjugations. First, with the connective ending 으면. 가다, which means to go. The stem is 가. 가면, 갔으면, 갔었으면. 먹다, to eat. 먹으면, 먹었으면, 먹었었으면. 살다, to live. 살면, exception. 살았으면, 살았었으면. 이다, to be. Actually, it's not to be, but anyway. 이면, 이었으면 or 였으면. 이었었으면 or 였었으면. Now with the connective ending, 다면. 가다, 간다면, 갔다면. It's not 갖는다면. It's 갔다면 and 갔었다면. 먹다, 먹는다면, 먹었다면, 먹었었다면. 살다, 산다면, it's not 살른다면, it's 산다면. and 살았다면, past tense, 살았었다면, past tense with the pre-final ending, 엇. 이다, 이라면, not 인다면, it's 이라면. and 이었다면, or 였다면, and 이었었다면, or 였었다면. Please take a closer look at them again when you have enough time.
Okay, this is the end of lesson 9 part 2. You're going to learn a couple more things related to 만약, 으면, and 다면 in the next video. 그럼 다음 비디오에서 만나요. 안녕히 계세요.